Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we have a public match on the Hooker's Push. You're seeing an overview of that map right now. Thank you to our Patreon members for the support. If you'd like to support, go to the link in the description and get a live stream of all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment on the bottom of our videos and get raw gameplay footage of everything we cover with no commentary and UI. So, getting into the map of Hooker's Push, it's about 160-man server right now. It's October 11th, about 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And the end of last map, it was up to 200-some players. So it'll probably grow as time goes on. In balance is 7 in favor of Union. Union has 6 on artillery. Confederates have 9. So in turn, it's about a 10-man infantry imbalance right now. And so many times we'll see the higher matches of War of Rights, the 300, 250 player matches in events, which is all very great to see. But it's also nice to see the inverse towards the smaller servers, kind of get a feel for what War of Rights was a few years ago. And on top of that, War of Rights isn't always at 350 players. So the meta, in a sense, changes because tickets are worth way less on these smaller pop servers because tickets scale. Obviously, you wouldn't want a ticket on a large pop server to apply the same amount per death on a smaller server, because on these large pop servers there's going to be a lot of people dying. So the ticket rate has to be not too extreme so that the match actually plays out for a decent portion of the match. And so each death is worth a small amount of tickets. If you had a smaller pop server with the same amount of tickets per death, then that smaller server would take forever. But anyways, on to Hooker's Push here. Union's really pushed out. We didn't start this until the 40-minute mark because Union has a long trek from their main spawn. And once they've gotten here, they've played really aggressive on the CSA, which will shout the CSA officers and Union officers out in a second, as CSA is falling back. A couple of Union guys pursuing. Looks like most of the Union trying to get closer, but it looks like they're just going to take some shots with their sharps. So officers today for CSA, you got Catman. Nobody's in that company. That's surprising. Normal Person, General Chicken, and then if you're the artillery, you have Skitterbait and Griffin. Union officers, though, you got Marquise, Gardner, KG, Pax, Stone. No artillery officer there, but Viking Grant seems to be in charge of Union artillery. Now, as you can see, Union main spawn's all the way back there. You can see where that one flag is in the center of your screen. That's where Union spawn is. It takes a couple minutes to get up here, which is why we didn't exactly start the 45-minute mark, because it's kind of boring to watch a bunch of guys march. Cinematic, but boring. So that's why we waited a few minutes there. We can see the Union aggression already paying off in terms of tickets. CSA down half a stage, Union down a fourth of the stage. And that's what you really have to do as the attacking team. You have to, attack. So I like that the Union's being aggressive. What I don't like is, what are you doing, Catman?
Where's Pax?
What are they doing here? This is a dumb decision. Like I was saying at the beginning, tickets are everything on these smaller pop servers. And with tickets not being worth much, it really favors the attacking team. And this is just backed by the fact that we've seen server pop has increased over the years. We've gone from like 150 now up to 350. And the defenders win more and more and more as we get to the higher pop server, mostly because for most of these skirmish maps, the defending team can spread their whole team across the width of the map and have double or triple ranks, which allows for the defending team to hold the whole map, and the attackers can't outflank, outmaneuver the defending team. They have to have brain-dead charges, which, if it's over an open field, like we just saw, that can be absolutely devastating. And it is devastating because CSA is almost that engaged here. And it's really only been a couple minutes since the fighting has really started. And I really appreciate that Union's keeping up the pressure. A lot of times you'll see on Hooker's Push and many other maps in War of Rights where the attacking team will just sit back and shoot most of the round. And while that's great and all, and in theory is great for the attackers because attackers have more tickets, shootouts from a longer range are generally one-to-one trade-offs. In deaths, tickets as well. So, it's great for the attackers, but the black timer obviously prevents you from doing that all day. You only get a limited time to do what you want to do And that's why we see the Union being as aggressive as they are. I like to see it. So, you got Union pushing up on the left side, also pushing up the center. The CSA does have defilades to use as cover, and the Union using those defilades as well to cover their movements and also allow them to get up and close and personal with these Confederates.
Fucking dirty Reds. Fuck you.
While the Confederates can't really shoot a whole lot of them, because as they keep retreating, the Union has the cover, the defilades, and they keep pursuing. This is a wonderful game plan from the Union side right now. And Confederates just getting completely blown back right now.
Yeah, I know.
Confederates do hit engaged. We'll see how far they fall back. And the Union, they keep going. It's a train. It ain't stopping. Okay, they stop right as I say that. Which,
Stand tall.
but Stone's going to keep pushing forward. We'll see how far the CSA pulls back. When you're in a really crappy spot like the CSA is, they do have an option to just completely hold back and try to force the Union to capture the point. Because Confederates are engaged right now. Their next stage is taking losses, and it goes to breaking. Once the defending team hits breaking or goes into last stand, which last stand is their final morale stage. Breaking or last stand, the attackers can cap and automatically win. But if the attackers cap, like right now, the attacking team has to hold the point for a while, which leaves a great opportunity for the defending team. Because if the Confederates let the Union cap right now and they retake the point successfully, they will go up to the percentage of tickets that the Union team is at. Which, for the Confederates' case, going up half a morale stage would be very huge. And I like that the Union is not necessarily capping the point. Point, by the way, is, it says it's all the way in this open field, and it is, but you can cap it from all the way back here. It's behind a nice little defilade. You'll see the Confederates hold here a lot, assuming Union doesn't push up, which, in this case, that whole method of gameplay has been turned on its head. And I like to see the Union not cap, because you got 33 minutes to shoot the Confederate team down to breaking, and the Confederates are still putting themselves in a spot to be hit. And so as long as the Union is able to deal a good amount of ticket loss to the Confederates, I don't think there's any point in capping. You don't want to give the Confederates an opportunity to regain a bunch of tickets. And we might see Union moving there right now, but they're shifting off to the right, spreading out a little more. Let's see what they're...
Which we shouldn't do. Yeah, we're not. Okay, we're good. Just shoot.
And no, they're just trying to get better spots. Union team's trying to spread out a little more, which I always like. Look how spread out the Union team is here compared to the Confederates. Whenever you have a line that's very spread out, shooting at a group of guys that are in a bulge like the Confederates are, that's just going to be devastating. Because obviously, when you have a bunch of guys grouped up in a bulge, it's going to be devastating. You know, if a Union guy shoots at the Confederate line here and it misses the first guy, it's going to hit the guy behind him. If not the guy behind that. So, I think Confederates are playing this okay for what the situation is. I think they should keep falling back and force the Union to capture point. Because regardless, you're in a terrible spot. But capping the point at least gives you an opportunity to regain some of those tickets, which the Confederates so desperately need. I mean, it's almost a whole morale stage difference. And the Union team is actually continuing to push forward. I don't necessarily know where the out of balance is for the Union side. However, they are going to keep pushing forward as far as they can. And the thing is, Confederate spawn, mind you, is all the way back here. So Confederates can retreat as far as they want and force the Union to capture point, but they're not doing that. Now, for pubs, it is very hard to turtle, because unlike regimental play, there could be a couple people on here that want to have some fun. They want to Rambo. Exhibit A over here. And Ramboing is just you're off by yourself, not being productive to your team. And when you die, like that guy just did, your team loses more tickets, a significant amount of more tickets, than if you're standing in a line with all of your friendlies, like a bunch of these Union guys are. That's how the game encourages you to stay by your friendlies is by the formation status. There's in formation, which a lot of these Union guys are. There's in skirmishing, which is when you're by 2 or 3 guys, or crouching by a lot of people. And then there's out of line, which is when you're off on your own rambling. And generally in formation is 1 ticket per death. Skirmishing is 3 tickets per death. And out of line is 5 tickets per death. That is the general ratio of what those are. So out of line can be pretty bad for you. And in pubs where not everyone is in a organized unit for regimental private event play, you'll get Rambos, and so it's really hard to turtle effectively in pubs, especially because people want to come on and have fun, not sit in the main spawn of their team and just do nothing for 10 minutes. So, but for the sake of the strategical overview of the match, turtling is the only option, I think, at this point for CSA. They're down over a whole morale stage now. Union's still in battle ready, and we are 16 minutes into the match. This is crazy. We're almost halfway through. And Confederates now had taken losses.
Yeah. We just lost two, we just lost 2 officers, so they yeah, I guess just so let's get some people. Yeah.
So Benjamin wanting to form up his guys right now. At least try. You have a couple more. What are they saying?
Look, this man ain't got no shoes. Oh my lord. Perfect. I need a fine pair of shoes.
The important things for a Confederate soldier.
Don't load, I'm moving it up. I'm moving it up more.
And I like that. Again, Union's got 28 minutes. Do they need to cap? No, you just need to knock the Confederates down 1 more stage. And based on everything we've seen, on top of just Rambos, I won't be surprised if we see the Confederates try to move out and engage. Again, this is just great patience on part of Union. Just wait it out.
He is, but hopefully they're doing good.
I don't think I've seen Hooker's push be won this lopsided in a very long time. And I think a lesson that can be taken away from... Oh, Union's charging. We can... Actually, they're getting really close. Surely they're at the edge out of bounds. But again, this is great. Stone continuing to push up his guys, not sit back and capture the point. I love to see it. A smaller pop server generally favors, like I said, the attackers. Attackers win way more often. It also allows you to be more aggressive because you can outflank and outmaneuver your opponent compared to when it's 300, 350 players. And oh!
Rambo officer behind us! Rambo officer behind us!
That officer got a killer too. I only see him shoot once, but and then that's 5 tickets for CSA. So you have some CSA starting to move up and engage, but I think the lesson here is kind of, I don't know if we kind of caught it at the beginning, but CSA held very far forward. They'll sometimes do that. But the Union pushed up with their whole team and pushed out the outnumbered CSA. And instead of Union just forming up and shooting it out like we see a lot, they continued pushing through. And they just kept pushing and kept pushing and kept pushing until now the whole Union team is basically encircling the CSA spawn. Which Stone is going to get thrown back. I mean, when you're shooting down the whole other team, you're not going to fare too well. Which is why you have guys like Based here and others moving forward. Are they going to charge? They might be charging. Union artillery almost killing their friendlies. And we're actually going to see a charge here. Woo! That was canister. Confederates charged out that side. I don't know if they were looking for Stone, but Base charged his guys in here. Some Union sitting back and shooting. And the Union finally goes down to engage. Stone moving up on this far side. And despite initial perceptions, at least for myself, that the Confederates might be gaining some form of ground, Stone turns right back around, gets into the action. And they're doing good. CSA is about to hit breaking. And there's a couple of Union guys by point. If these guys turn to point, they could just cap and win for their team.
No, 100%. No, we're gonna cap.
Yep.
Here in a second.
So, I think the lesson we can learn from this is the whole Union team, very organized, just kept pushing. They did not stop. The aggression did not stop. And I love watching aggressive gameplay in terms of the attackers. That's how I think the War of Rights game should be played. Sitting around and shooting is great in some circumstances, but majority of the time for the attacking team, you need to gain some ground at some point. You need to charge. You need to be aggressive. Sitting around and shooting, it really just delays the inevitable, and if anything, stresses you out more towards the end of the round. Because if you sit and shoot for most of the round, you're killing that black timer. The defending team might not be going down at a significant pace. And so that black timer just gets killed, and then you're under a lot of stress to charge and win greatly. So I really like to see this. I like to see Hooker's push played like this by Union. CSA never really had a time to hunker down until they were pushed all the way back to their spawn. So very great win for Union. Kind of a short match, but this was a very well played round. I almost wonder if on the higher pop servers, seeing Union do what they did here could work. Now I know they'll have a lot more defenders, and if it's in regimental play, the CSA would probably be much more suited to defend. But really, with how aggressive the Union was, this was just beautifully played on part of Union. I mean, outside of Confederates pushing up as far as they did initially, which they do a lot on this map, and they've never really been punished for it, but the Union punished them here for this. So I think it's fascinating. I wonder if CSA holding back a lot further to start the round would have produced a better result. Like where these Confederate companies, and I wonder if this one here was back here. Because Union charged through. They also sat there for a while. But besides that, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel more, we have our Patreon in the description where we live stream all the broadcasts we do. You can advertise your regiment on the bottom of our videos and get raw gameplay footage of everything we cover with no commentary and UI. Besides that, we have our Discord and merch, and we will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful rest of your night.